Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Let's just cut to the chase. Celtic 0, Rangers 2. A performance that we should be utterly embarrassed about. And I'm not going to sit here and waste 10 minutes of your time talking about what went wrong and what could have been better, because at the end of the day, on the pitch tonight, or this afternoon I should say, we were absolutely embarrassing. Like, Rangers thoroughly deserving their win. I know there's going to be a lot of Rangers fans clicking this video, especially recently with the whole Defoe Griffiths debate, and I was getting clipped on TikTok and all the rest of it. Right, okay, we'll move that aside. I know there's going to be a lot of Rangers fans watching. You deserved your win. Rangers were the far better team. There's no denying that. Celtic today on the pitch were utterly... it's inexcusable how bad we were. But fair play to Rangers. That's now, 3 Old Firm games in a row they've turned up. They've known how to mentally take us out the game. They have been brilliant at controlling the ball, pressing. We need to match the intensity that Rangers are bringing this game. We're no doing it. The team today was full of absolute, and pardon my French, because I try to keep things as professional as possible in here, but we were full of absolute shite bags today, man. Not a single ounce of pressing the ball. We didn't care. Even when we go 2-0 down. We go 2-0 down in the game. 2-0. And we're not pressing the ball. We're not doing anything. We don't look as though we want it. For me today, Callum McGregor was probably the only player in the park who looked anywhere near interested for Celtic. And that's a familiar story. But Rangers were just far better than us. They were. And you know what? The worst part is the 2 goals that we did concede. They're poor goals, man. And I'm not taking that away from it, because I know Rangers fans will be going, oh, don't give us that excuse, don't give us that. Look, I'm not saying Rangers' performance wasn't good, but the 2 goals were poor. The 2 goals we should not be conceding, especially that second one. It's just a matter of, where do we go from here? It's been a very negative start to the season for Celtic, and Neil Lennon will quite rightly come under a lot of criticism after today. But look, one thing that we always do is we jump on Neil Lennon's back and we criticise him, and we look to say, Lennon out, all the rest of it. And I can understand fans who may say that. I can see that after today's game. The lineup that we started the game with was not great. I think that there was a lot of decisions in that selection that were questionable. You see Stephen Welsh coming in, you see El Yunusi starting up front with Kalamala. Why not play 2 recognised strikers? There was a lot of questionable decisions from Neil Lennon, that's the truth. But the players in the park are just as much to blame, and that's what's going to really frustrate me about today. We'll get all those Lennon outcries, we'll get all the change up. Number one, who's coming in to take that job right now? Who? You tell me a manager's going to come in and step up to the plate on the most important season of Celtic's existence, probably. Who's going to take that job now? Give me a manager who's available who's going to take that. Are we just going to shift it to John Kennedy? Is he going to do the job? The players are just as much to blame to me today. There was no urgency. There was nothing. The passion in the game from Celtic's point of view was absolutely minimal. And minimal is probably an overstatement. There was so many problems around the park. There was... it was just shambolic to watch. It really frustrated me. We had a couple of good chances in the first half, and do you know what the really annoying thing is? When the first half ended, I thought to myself, how can this get any worse? Surely we've got to improve on this. No, the second half was far worse, and perhaps the changes were just too late made. I think Griffiths should have started the game, or Ajeti. We left it too late. Turnbull comes on with about 10 minutes to go. At that point in the game, Rangers have killed it, they've took it. Ultimately, Rangers were a better side, and I'll give that to them. I'll give that to the fans who are watching, because that's what they want to hear, I suppose. But it's the truth. They were a better team. They were the ones pressing us. The problem with Celtic over these Old Firm games is we have not matched what Rangers have done, and that's bringing an urgency to the game, an intensity to the game. We've sat there passing the ball around the back. That stat that came up, watching on Sky Sports, the stat that came up with about 15 minutes left in the game, that showed that the most touches in Celtic's team was between the 3 centre-halves, between Duffy, between Welsh and between Ajer. Absolutely inexcusable. That should not be the case. And on the park, they've got as much responsibility as Neil Lennon has got to make these changes. They should be bringing the intensity levels up, and they never done that. There's not one person who should take the blame today. I don't think Neil Lennon should just take the blame solely. I think the players have got as much a responsibility on today's performance as anybody else. Look, I said it on the Talk Scottish Football podcast, these games I don't think will mean that much towards the end of the season. I think whoever wins the title, be it Celtic or Rangers, will win the title because of the games in between. I don't think these games will decide it whatsoever, but it's certainly a wake-up call, and by the end of the season we might look at this game as that wake-up call. It might be the game that actually has turned a page for Celtic, and it might do us a world of good, but that's hypothetically speaking. That's speaking in an optimistic mindset. we've got to pick up. We've got a tough schedule ahead of us now. We've got, AC Milan on Thursday. We've got Aberdeen in the league coming up. This is tough, man. And today is not the result we needed. I'm really embarrassed from the performance in the park. No attacking threat. Every time Frimpong had the ball on the right-hand side, Rangers had 2-3 men going round him and bullying him off the ball. And fair play to them, they know what to do. And I think Gerrard has mastered that over the last few games. He's spotted what Celtic's weaknesses, their strengths are, and they've exploited them. And Neil Lennon, tactically on the other side, hasn't. What is the problem with Celtic in these games now? Is it the fact we've not got players who get the intensity of this game, who not get the importance of this game? Or is it just out of the fact that Rangers are playing better on this occasion? Look, last year we were beaten in December. They beat us at Celtic Park, and it went on to mean absolutely nothing. We still trounced them. We still won the league, and it didn't matter. It's early days. There's about 20 odd games left to play. We'll see how it comes, see how it goes come the next Old Firm game. But I'm absolutely humiliated by the day, man. And as you can tell, I'm sorry, my words and everything. I'm a few tenants down, trying to mask the pain, trying to drown the sorrows away. But today's performance was inexcusable, and we need to pick up on that. We need to move on, and we need to make sure we pick up maximum points now. We've still got a fortunate position where we have a game in hand, and we can close the gap. We can start to put the pressure on Rangers again, so that maybe in these smaller games they do lose points. But if we keep performing like this, we're not going to go anywhere, and we're going to bugger up this 10-0 run. So. Very fascinating, to say the least, in terms of the long-term goal. But today, I'm humiliated. I really am. And I know the comment section is going to be a good laugh. I'm looking forward to seeing all the Rangers fans commenting. I've said it. Yous were the better team today. Yous got the win yous deserved. We didn't turn up. Yous did. And we could have been so much better in every area of the park. But we'll see what happens. Anyway, I've spoke for 7 minutes. I've rambled absolute nonsense. I think that we should be embarrassed. I think that we should be humble in our defeat now. Move on and see what happens. Rangers have bettered us in the last 3 Old Firm games, despite us winning a cup. But look, we're the champions. We know how to come back from this. We have the mentality. We have the serial winners in our squad to come back from this. And I think we will. It's all about staying positive, and that is really hard after this. I'm sure that I've not really scrolled through Twitter yet, but I can tell it's already a toxic sort of environment. We just need to pick up from there and move on. And Neil Lennon has a lot of things to change now. He has a lot to think about in terms of not just team selection, but everything. It's a really weird puzzle for him now to sort out. And hopefully he does, but we'll see. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, if you've enjoyed the video somehow, make sure to hit like and subscribe. It's been really, really frustrating today. But do what, go out, enjoy yourselves, whatever you're doing in your own house, have a drink, forget about it, and we'll move on. Like and subscribe, as I said, and I'll see you all next time.